students, welcome to Plus 2 Political Science class. Today I will continue lesson 6, the legislature. Today I will discuss day 10 topic, that is comparison between the Indian, USA and UK legislatures. It covers your pages from 243 till 249. As I already told you, this chapter is divided into 10 days, and today I will be discussing day 10 topic. Now, day 10th topic is comparison between the Indian, USA and UK legislatures. First, I will introduce the topic, then I will discuss about the composition and tenure of the legislatures of the three countries, that is Indian legislature, UK legislature and USA legislature. Then I will discuss about the speakers of India, USA and UK legislature. Then check over the executives. Then I will discuss similarities in the Indian, UK and USA legislatures. Then I will discuss differences in the composition and organization of the Indian, British and American legislatures. Finally, I will talk about the comparison in respect of the powers of the three legislatures. Students, already I told you it covers your pages from 243 till 249. Now, before the discussion of today's topic, I would like to discuss the key terms with you. The first key term is nominated members. The example is the Lok Sabha at present consists of 545 members. Of these, 530 members are directly elected members from the states and 13 from the union territories. So, total becomes 543, while two are nominated by the president to represent the Anglo-Indian community. A nominated member of parliament is a member of the parliament who is appointed by the president. He is not affiliated to any political party and does not represent any constituency. Yes, students, you see, he doesn't contest the election. He is directly appointed by the president. That's called nominated. The next is convention. Convention is a custom or a way of acting and doing things that is widely accepted and followed. A convention is an unwritten understanding about how something in parliament should be done, which, although not legally enforceable, yes, students, the conventions are not legally enforceable. They are not written any law book, but they have become routine to be followed. Like I give you an example, after independence, when the first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, was appointed, he completed his tenure of 5 years, and then for the second term he was re-elected. When third time came, the members were suggesting again his name for election, but he said no person should be there to contest the election for the third time. So that's why he laid the convention that no one can contest the elections for the president for the third time. Till now, it is a convention in India. The next is public interest litigation. In short, it is called PIL. The example is public interest litigation means litigation filed in a court of law for the protection of public interest such as pollution, terrorism, road safety, constructional hazards, etc. It can be anything else. A public interest litigation is a petition that can be filed by any member of the public for any matter of public interest for the redress of public wrong or injury. PIL can be filed either in the High Court or Supreme Court depending on the situation. Both the courts have the power to entertain the public interest litigation. The next is hereditary members. The example is, as of June 2021, there are 4 dukes, 1 marquess, 25 earls, 16 viscounts, 43 barons and 2 lords of parliament among the 92 hereditary peers entitled to sit in the House of Lords in the UK. There are 2 vacancies among the hereditary peers to be filled. So, hereditary peers are those whose right to sit in the House of Lords is due to their title being inherited from their fathers or much less frequently their mothers. Currently, there are 814 hereditary peers, although only 92 can sit in the Lords at any one time. So, capacities of 814 means 814 are hereditary peers, but those who can sit in the House of Lords is only 92 members. Now, let's see the other type of members are life peers. The example is members of the House of Lords are sometimes referred to as the peers. Most members are life peers, although 92 sit by virtue of hereditary title. Life peers are appointed by the monarch on the advice of the Prime Minister to serve for their life. The title is not transferable because they are life peers. It will finish when their life will finish. The system of appointment of hereditary peers and life peers is still in practice in UK upper house. That's a House of Lords. The next key term is simple majority. This refers to the majority of more than 50% of the members present and voting. This is also known as financial majority or working majority. When the constitution or the laws do not specify the type of majority needed, the simple majority is considered for voting. Yes, students, you know there are two types of majorities. One is simple and second is special. Simple is above 50%, special is above 66%. And when nothing is given, it automatically means the simple majority. And if special is required, it must be written special majority. The next key term is reserved constituencies. The example is as per the order issued by the Delimitation Commission in 2008 for Lok Sabha, 412 are general, 84 seats are reserved for scheduled caste and 47 seats for the scheduled tribes. Reserved constituencies are the constituencies in which seats are reserved for scheduled caste and tribes based on the size of their population. Yes, students, on the size of population in 2008, Delimitation Commission has told that 84 seats are reserved for scheduled caste and 47 for the scheduled tribe. Now, today's topic I will start later. First, I must discuss yesterday's topic. I will ask you some questions based on yesterday's topic. Yesterday, I discussed the topic that is comparison of US Senate with other second chambers. So, my first question is when did India become a sovereign state? I told you normally we call that India became independent on 15th August 1947. But in political science, you have to use the word sovereign. So the answer is same, but only the word difference is there. Next is how is there equal representation of all states in the US Senate? And as I told you, there are 50 stars in US flag, so there are 50 states in US, and each state sends how many members, so there is equal representation. Yes, there are two members from each state, so it makes 100 members in the upper house. Next is give an example to prove that the US Senate controls the US president. Here, I think so. You know very well till now, U.S. Senate controls the U.S. president. When president appoints anyone or makes a treaty with any country, it must be checked by the U.S. Senate. Next is name the U.S. president against whom impeachment proceedings started but failed in 2020. That's Donald Trump. Now, for how long can the House of Lords delay a non-money bill? A non-money bill can be delayed by the House of Lords. It cannot do other thing. It's only delaying House. Do you know for how long it can delay? It's called non-money bill is called the ordinary bill. So it is 1 year. 1 year it can delay. Okay. The next is what is the tenure of the Senate and the senators? The tenure of Senate is not given because it's a permanent house, but tenure of senators is given. That's a 6 year. Each senator works for the 6 years and they keep on changing. The house never dissolves, but the senators keep on changing. Now I will start today's topic, that is comparison between the Indian, USA and UK legislatures. First, I will introduce you the topic, that is Indian Lok Sabha, the British House of Commons and US House of Representatives. Each is a lower house and directly elected house. This house represents the people and mirrors national public opinion. Mirrors national public opinion means people send their representatives to sit in this house, and the representatives talk about their people's wishes, from where they have come. They work for their members and their areas. So this way it is a mirror of the nation. So you can see the buildings of Indian Parliament, UK Parliament and US Senate. Next is the composition and tenure of the legislature. The Indian legislature tenure and composition is: Indian Lok Sabha has strength of 545 members and each member represents a territorial constituency as he is directly elected by the people of the constituency. So the total members are 545. The principles which govern the election are universal adult franchise, single member constituency, secret ballot system, and the simple majority vote victory system. Some constituencies are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and only this category people can contest elections from these constituencies. Yes, students, when any area, any constituency is reserved for scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, then only these category contestants will contest the elections from this area. Suppose any party, maybe Congress or BJP or any party, they will contest election, but their candidates will belong to this category. Next is each MP is elected for a term of 5 years. In India, the Lok Sabha members are for 5 years. Out of all members of Lok Sabha, only two are nominated members and the rest are elected members. And nominated members, I hope you know very well, that's the Anglo-Indian community. Now let's see what is in the UK. The British House of Commons has a strength of 669 members who are directly elected, like in Indian Lok Sabha. The principles which govern the elections are, it is also same: universal adult franchise, single member constituency, secret ballot system, and simple majority vote victory system. But there is no system of reservation. This reservation system is in India because of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. The elections to the House of Commons are contested by the two main political parties. India has a multi-party system, but in UK there is a bi-party system. These are the New Labour Party and the Conservative Party. But some other small parties also field candidates in the elections. House of Commons has a tenure of 5 years, so it's a similar like the Lok Sabha tenure, that's 5 years. However, it can be dissolved before the expiry of its full term by the British monarch acting under the advice of British Prime Minister and Cabinet. So this condition is also same like Indian President can dissolve the Lok Sabha before 5 years on the advice of Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. So same way in Britain, the British monarch can dissolve the House of Commons before 5 years on the advice of Prime Minister and the Cabinet. Now let's see what is in USA. The US House of Representatives is the lower house of US Congress. It has a strength of 435 members. It is a national representative house whose members are directly elected by the people of the USA. The principles which govern their elections are, it's also same like in India and UK: universal adult franchise, single member constituencies, secret ballot system, and simple majority vote victory system. Till here all the three countries have same system. So let's see what is the difference. There is no provision for reservation of any seat. So reservation is only and only in India, not in UK and not in USA. House of Representatives has a short tenure of 2 years. This is also different. Lok Sabha tenure is 5 years, House of Commons tenure is 5 years, but House of Representatives tenure is 2 years. However, it is fixed and stable in tenure, before the expiry of which it can't be dissolved. So, this is very important to understand. Indian Lok Sabha and House of Commons can be dissolved earlier on the advice of Prime Minister, but House of Representatives cannot be dissolved before 2 years. So you see, these are the speakers of different countries. Indian speaker is Mr. Om Birla, and USA speaker is Nancy Pelosi, and UK speaker is Sir Lindsay. So these speakers are there. Now let's see what happens in India. The Indian Lok Sabha is presided over by the Speaker, who acts as a neutral chairman in the House. So you must note it down very carefully. Indian Speaker is neutral inside the House. However, he maintains his party membership and has to contest elections for securing a seat in the Lok Sabha. The Indian Speaker always follows a middle path, a political neutral inside the Lok Sabha and party member outside. Means he is not totally neutral. Inside the Lok Sabha he is neutral, but outside he is a party member. The inside the house, he doesn't vote over any resolution. He casts his vote only in case of tie. Such a vote solves a matter and is known as a casting vote. So this term casting vote I have discussed many times with you earlier also. You know, this casting vote is a vote in case of tie only, when the speaker is to cast vote. Otherwise the speaker is to act neutral. He is not to cast vote over any resolution. And now let's see what is in UK. The British House of Commons also elects one of its members as the Speaker. The Speaker, after getting elected to the office, resigns from his party person, both inside the and outside the House membership, and becomes totally neutral. So in UK, you see the Speaker becomes totally neutral. Or in India, the Speaker is neutral inside the House but not outside. In UK, the Speaker of the House of Commons chairs debates in the Commons chamber. He presides over the meetings of the House of Commons and always maintains neutrality in his behavior. Now let's see what is in USA. The US Speaker is that is a House of Representatives is elected by the members of the House. He always belongs to the majority party. Since the executive is not present in the House of Representatives, the US Speaker always acts as the leader of his party and openly favors his party in the House. So you see, in USA, the Speaker is not neutral, he is a party member. He is neither neutral inside nor outside. His conduct is always a matter of political talk and controversies. Now I will discuss check over executive topic. In India, Indian Lok Sabha is powerful house and the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers are responsible to it. You know how they are as responsible during question hour and 0 hour, and otherwise also they are responsible. The Prime Minister may belong to Rajya Sabha, but he must be a leader of majority party in the Lok Sabha. This I told you example is Dr. Manmohan Singh. When he became the Prime Minister of India, he was member of Rajya Sabha, but he was a leader of the majority party in the Lok Sabha, that's the Congress party. So the Lok Sabha can remove the Council of Ministers by passing a vote of no confidence or by rejecting a bill or decision. It can be done any time during the period of 5 years. So you see in India how the legislature controls the executive is that the legislature means opposition parties can pass a vote of no confidence or they can reject the bill, means government bill. This proves that opposition has got the majority and ruling party has lost the majority. Naturally, government will dissolve, there will be re-elections. So it can be done anytime during the 5 years, means the house can dissolve before the 5 year. Now let's see what happens in UK. The British House of Commons is the most powerful, one of the strongest lower houses in the world. The British Council of Ministers and the Prime Minister are responsible to the lower house, that is the House of Commons. It's the same as in India. The House of Commons can remove the Council of Ministers by passing a vote of no confidence or by rejecting a bill or decision. So this is also in India the same. So it can be done anytime during the 5 years. So this matter is the same in India and UK. Now let's see what is in USA. The US House of Representatives is relatively a weak house. The US lower house is weak house. With a short tenure of 2 years, it is at a disadvantageous position. The US president is checked by the upper house, that is the Senate. The position of the Senate in the US Congress is stronger than the House of Representatives. So you see, in India and UK, the executive is checked by the lower house, but in USA, the executive is checked by the upper house. Now I will discuss the similarities among the Indian, UK, and USA legislatures. The first similarity is that the laws passed by both the Indian and the USA legislatures are subject to judicial review. You know what is judicial review? That is the power of the Supreme Court to check the validity of the laws passed by the legislature. If it is not within constitutional limit, then it can be declared null and void. So this is the power of the judiciary. This power is with the USA and Indian judiciary. In the USA, it is automatic, whereas in India, it is on the basis of public interest litigation, that is PIL. Means if any law is passed by the government in India and signed by the president, then it is not automatically checked by the Supreme Court. Anyone from the public is to file an application in the Supreme Court to check it. Then Supreme Court will check it and declare it null and void if it is ultra vires, means it is against the constitution. But in USA it is automatic. In USA, after a bill is passed by both the houses of legislature, it is sent to the president for his signature and then it goes to the federal court for its judicial review. After the court's approval, it is executed. So you see, it is automatic. Means that after the signature of president, the court is to check it. The federal court will declare either it is within constitutional limit or not. If it is not in limits, then the federal court will declare it null and void. This is called the judicial review. But the British judiciary has no power to conduct judicial review. This is the very important power with the British legislature. Whatever the British Parliament makes the laws, it is not to be checked by the British judiciary. Means laws passed by the British Parliament are final, no one can challenge it. The next is the laws passed by the British legislature can't get vetoed by the British monarch. You know, veto is the part to stop the like a signature, like to stop the final implementation of the bill. The British Parliament alone can amend or reject or maintain the laws passed by the Parliament. On the other hand, the laws passed by the US Congress are subject to pocket veto power of the US President. However, the Parliament in India is free from any such power of the Indian President. The President of India can return the bill for reconsideration. However, when it comes for the second time after passing again through the Parliament, the President has to sign it. So you see, in all these three countries, if we see the in Britain, the British monarch can't reject any bill. It has don't have any veto power. But in USA, the president enjoys the pocket veto power, means he has veto power. But in India, it is partial, means the one time the president can reject, but if it comes the second time, maybe with the changes or without changes, the president is to sign it. I know since independence till today, in 70 years, only one time any president has rejected any bill and sent it back to the parliament for reconsideration, and that was our ex scientist president, that is APJ Abdul Kalam. He sent Office of Profit bill into parliament again to reconsider it. It is an example in India. The British Parliament alone has the power to amend, reject, or maintain laws passed by the Parliament because there is no written constitution to set the limits of the legislature. So you see, British Parliament has no limits of the legislature because there is no written constitution. The British Parliament is both legislature as well as constituent assembly rolled into one. So it is indeed a sovereign legislature. Students, you can be asked a question in examination कि how the British Parliament is a sovereign legislature. It is sovereign because it cannot be checked by the president, means there is no veto power with the monarch, and the judiciary also don't have the judicial review power, and moreover they don't have written constitution, means legislature can legislate on any subject. Moreover, there is a unitary structure, means only and only one house of legislature at the national level. There is no states government, no state legislature. So Britain is having the parliament, which is a sovereign legislature. As against this, the legislatures of India and USA are non sovereign legislatures. These legislatures exercise lawmaking powers only on those subjects and areas which stand allocated to them by their respective constitutions. Yes, it is very important to understand. In India and USA, the parliament, the legislatures can work on only those subjects which are given to them by the constitution. Their boundary line is the constitution. Otherwise, if they go out of the constitution, it will be declared null and void. Now, I will discuss the differences in the composition and organization of the Indian, British, and American legislatures. First is the British Parliament, the US Congress, and the Indian Parliament are bicameral legislatures. Bicameral means there are two houses. In India, there is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. In UK, there is House of Commons and House of Lords. And in USA, there is House of Representatives and Senate. But the British upper house, that is the House of Lords, is an undemocratic, nominated, and permanent house, as well as it is powerless house. In the USA, the upper house, the Senate, is very powerful house. It is more powerful than the lower house, that is a House of Representatives. Indian Rajya Sabha stands midway. It is neither as powerless as the British House of Lords nor as powerful as the US Senate. It works as a helping house with some real powers and even exclusive powers. The Indian Rajya Sabha is an indirectly elected upper house, while the US Senate is directly elected upper house. You know how Indian Rajya Sabha is indirectly elected because our members are elected by the state MLAs, and Senate is directly elected because two members from each state go to the Senate. They are elected directly. The next is the British House of Lords is the house of special interest and classes and not of the common people. It has a nominated character and none of its members is an elected member. This is very important to, it's a key word to write it down in your papers, that it is having the all the nominated members. It has been a permanent house and since its inception it has never been dissolved. The US Senate is a directly elected house which represents the states of US Federation. It's a quasi-permanent house. One third of its members retire after every 2 years. It's exactly like the Indian Rajya Sabha. where the tenure of each member is 6 years and one third of its members retire after every 2 years. Yes, students, you see here all the three nations have permanent upper houses, but the members, how they reach there, that's a different. Now, the next example is any British, Irish, and Commonwealth citizen who is a UK resident and taxpayer over the age of 21 is eligible to be nominated or can apply to become a member via the Independent House of Lords Appointments Commission. Means he can apply to be member of House of Lords. In Britain, the upper house, that is a House of Lords, has nominated character and none of its members is an elected member. As I already told you, upper house is having all the nominated members. The hereditary members have got their seats from the times of their great grandfathers, and the life peers hold seats only for life. So there are two types of nominated members. One is hereditary members and second is life peers. The members of the Indian Rajya Sabha are elected indirectly by the people. The people of the state directly elect the members of their state legislative assembly and the MLAs elect the members of the Rajya Sabha. In the USA, each state elects two senators directly by the people. So, the Britain and India upper houses members are indirectly elected, but in USA they are directly elected. Now I will discuss the comparison respect of the powers of the three legislatures. The first is the British House of Lords has minimum legislative, executive, and financial powers. Means upper house, that is House of Lords, has very less powers. It is virtually a delaying house. You can use this keyword in your exams for your learning. That it's just a delaying house. It can delay the passing of an ordinary bill by a maximum of 1 year and a money bill for a maximum of 30 days. It has little control over the British Council of Ministers. Means it cannot check the Council of Ministers like Senate, but it can only delay the bills, money bill just for 30 days and ordinary bill for 1 year. As against this, the US Senate has the distinction of being the strongest second chamber on the world. It has equal ordinary lawmaking powers with the House of Representatives. It determines the final shape of all the money bills and the budget. It has special power to check the powers of the US President. The US Senate is indeed a very powerful upper house. It is even more powerful than the lower popular house of the US Congress, that is the House of Representatives. So if we compare the two houses of US, the upper house, that is US Senate, is more powerful than the lower house, that is House of Representatives. When we compare the British, Indian and American legislatures in respect of their lower houses, we find several similarities. They all are lower, democratic, popular and national houses of their respective legislatures. All consist of directly elected representatives of the people, and all the three mirror public opinion of their respective societies. Indian lower house, that is the Lok Sabha, is a very powerful house, but not as powerful as British House of Commons. In Britain, the upper house is virtually a powerless house, whereas the Indian upper house, the Rajya Sabha, has some real powers. So you see, in India, the upper house has some powers, but in Great Britain, the upper house doesn't have any power, but lower house is the most powerful house of the world because there is no check to the working of the lower house. It can do anything, can make law on any subject because there is no written constitution and the monarch doesn't have veto power, and there is no judicial review also. So that makes the UK lower house most powerful house of the world. Thus, there are several points of similarities as well as dissimilarities among the legislatures of India, Britain, and USA. Each legislature has been playing its due role in its political system, and each of them is a democratic, active, and powerful legislature. Students, I have discussed today's topic. Now I will discuss what I have done today. That is, I have discussed the topic comparison between the Indian, USA, and UK legislatures. Under this, I first introduced the topic. Then I discussed the composition and tenure of the legislatures of three countries, that is India, UK, and USA. And then I talked about the speakers of India, USA, and UK, and then check over the executives, then similarities in the Indian, UK, and USA legislatures, and then differences in the composition and organization of India, British, and American legislatures. And then finally, I talked about the comparison in respect of powers of the three legislatures. Students, this covers your pages from 243 till 249. On the basis of today's topic, the questions related are: what do you mean by the second chamber of legislature? Give example. Second chamber means the upper house. The upper house of India is Rajya Sabha, upper house of UK is House of Lords, and upper house of USA is the Senate. Now, whereas British Parliament is a sovereign parliament, parliaments of the India and USA are non-sovereign legislatures. Explain. Now, already I have discussed it in detail. British Parliament is sovereign parliament because there is no veto power with monarch, no judicial review, no written constitution. So, it can make law on any subject. But Parliament of India and USA are non-sovereign because they are to follow, they are to be within limits of the constitution, and otherwise there is judicial review of the work done by them. Next is compare the organization and powers of the Indian Lok Sabha with US House of Representatives. Here you will talk about the organization of Lok Sabha with the House of Representatives, means how they are organized. They are elected houses, and the number of members you will tell in the US representatives and Indian Lok Sabha. Okay. Then now next is compare the powers of Indian Rajya Sabha with the powers of US Senate. Indian Rajya Sabha and US Senate, if we compare, we know US Senate is the strongest upper house of the world, and Indian Rajya Sabha no doubt is powerful, but it is having less powers if we compare with this US Senate that's the most powerful. It checks even the president of US. How it checks that you will tell in detail. Next is compare the powers of US House of Representatives with the Indian Lok Sabha. If we compare these two houses, Indian Lok Sabha is more powerful because it is real democratic house, and the executive body is here in this house, and there is a question hour and 0 hour, and they are checked by the legislature. Then make a comparative study of the American House of Representatives and the British House of Commons. Now both are lower houses, and but if we compare, British House of Commons is the most powerful house of the world. How it is most powerful house, you are to tell it in detail. But one difference is that House of Commons can be dissolved earlier before 5 years, but House of Representatives cannot be dissolved before its term of 2 years. The next is what is the composition of House of Representatives of USA and Lok Sabha of India. House of Representatives is USA lower house, and Lok Sabha is India's lower house. You have to tell about their candidates, number of candidates, how many candidates are there, and what is their age limit and all. You have to tell this in detail. What is meant by the sovereignty of British Parliament? What are its limitations? So you have to tell how the US British Parliament becomes a sovereign body. It is only and only parliament which is a sovereign parliament. Again, I'm telling you, there is no written constitution, no judicial review, no veto power of the British monarch. This all make it a sovereign. Next is list two ways in which the Lok Sabha is more powerful than the Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha, we know money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha, and vote of no confidence can be passed only in the Lok Sabha. Means the executive can be checked only in the Lok Sabha. The next is the House of Commons is more powerful than the House of Lords in financial powers. Give two reasons in support of the given statement. It is same like Indian, like House of Commons, money bill can be introduced in the House of Commons, and this way the upper house, that is House of Lords, can keep the money bill only for 30 days, and it cannot make any changes. So this is what the power of the House of Commons. Next is, how has the judicial review undermined the legislature? So this power, judicial review, is with the judiciary. It has undermined the legislature. Means if the laws are passed by the legislature, it is to be checked by the judiciary. Is it within constitutional limits or not? If it is ultra virus, means out of the constitutional limits, then the judiciary will declare it null and void. So obviously it is undermining the legislature. But this power is not with the British judiciary, it is only with the Indian and US uh, judiciary. Next is, what is meant by sovereignty of British Parliament? So British Parliament is a sovereign parliament of the world. You will tell here how it is sovereign. You will write down this answering points. Okay. Now today's topic is over. You will do the topic related question, and do your watch the video again. Now next time I will start the next chapter, that is Union Executive. My chapter is also finished. Now till next day, goodbye. Thank you.